Welcome to the Queen and Her Domain, Embodying Personal Royalty, a ritual workshop. When you think of the Queen, what comes to mind? It is that she is powerful in the world, that she can give back to those coming up behind her, that she embodies self-dominion. In this ritual workshop, we will explore what being the Queen of your own life looks like. We will bring other parts of us to bear witness in the claiming of your own inner queendom, your own inner authority. So the queen energy, if we think about the maiden, mother, queen, and crone aspects of the female life, that time frame usually occurs between 40 and 60 years of age. And then can actually be accessed at any point in the person's life. And maybe it's more to say between 40 and 70 years of life. When she has the ability to give back, to share her steps in the process of her life, of what has brought her to where she is now. She has power in the world. She is letting loose of her mothering experiences, perhaps wanting more time for herself. And that self also with a capital S. And she is not yet in the crone phase, the old wise woman who has taken herself off to give back at times, but to contemplate her own life and what it's been and what's next. So the queen is the seat of the self with a capital S. The self is the seat of sovereignty of the queen. It is her throne and her domain, her base of power and her field of operation, the power of the fully engaged self. The queen is firm in her boundaries, her time, her space, her priorities, her preferences, her ethics, her needs, her desires, her safety, her sense of well-being. She allows herself to feel worthy, esteemed. She takes care of herself on every level. So the need for the queen energy is really important right now, especially in our culture. And women taking their place to really accept who they are. And the gift of the queen archetype is experienced in various ways, but it is always dependent on the ability to receive what is hers by divine right. And we'll talk about coming in as the divine child in a moment. So here's a quote on the queen archetype and the queen energy from Carolyn Myss. Challenges related to control, personal authority, and leadership play a primary role in forming the lessons of personal development that are inherent to this archetype. The benevolent queen uses her authority to protect those in her court and sees her own empowerment enhanced by her relationships and experience. The shadow queen can slip into aggressive and destructive patterns of behavior, particularly when she perceives that her authority or capacity to maintain control over the court is being challenged. The ice queen rules with a cold indifference to the genuine needs of others, whether material or emotional. The queen bee is a mixed image, the astonishing ability to power the entire hive without leaving her chamber, quote unquote, yet at the cost of enslaving the rest of her community. So the characteristics of the queen archetype is dignified, striking, and awesome, is benevolent and takes care of her subjects, has a clear sense of responsibility, plans and gets things done, imparts to her subjects what she believes is important, and empowers her subjects to connect to the community and return to her. So, in the beginning now of this Queen ritual, we will take a couple nice deep breaths and let go of the energy of the day, of the moment. And we're going to do a guided meditation, a visualization of the divine child, who you were when you came into this life. So I want you to see her, this divine child that you were, that spark of the divine that you were, are, still. Think about your childhood, your adolescence, and your adult life, your accomplishments, your trials and errors, how you have made it until now. So I want you to see that divine child inside of you and just picture that pure infant energy that you came in with that divine spark of the infinite in your heart, on your brow, filling you. And just take a moment and just let that image come to you of who you were coming in here to this planet, to these times. And then when you have an idea, an image, something, take that divine child and put her into your heart. Just put that divine child into your heart. And as you do that, think about the struggles that you have been through in this life. Those struggles where you worked hard to attain something or struggled through an adversarial kind of situation where things weren't running in your favor, and poof, in a poof of light from that divine child, let it be gone. And you are clear. Her demeanor is seasoned and carries wisdom with it, not adolescent fickle impulsiveness. This is the Queen. She is compassionate, benevolent, deeply caring, expansively loving, even-handed, calm, persistent, caring, present, and rejoices in the success and happiness of those who enjoy her care and selfless loving. That is a quote from Sunyata Satchitananda. So now, with that divine child inside of you, I want you to stay inside of you with your attention turned within, and I want you to journey to the Queen. Enlist your allies and helper spirits. Take that divine child with you. And I want you to go and find the Queen that lives inside of you. When you find her, I want you to love her and take her into your heart. And if you need more time for this journey visualization, then just pause the recording. I'll rattle for a little bit, but pause the recording if you need more time. So again, pause the recording if you need more time. Now I would like you to write a few affirmations. They can be just the 3 ideas I'm going to give you. They can be a whole list. Take the time that you need, because you'll put these to work in a few minutes. I am queen, and insert your name here. Queen of myself. I am queen, your name, queen of my life. I am queen, queen of my domain. Keep going with that and write the affirmations that are particularly important to you. And you can pause this recording while you do that. Here is a quote from Donna Haynes, who wrote the book Queen of Myself, Stepping into Sovereignty in Midlife. The Queen takes up the challenge of change, and with her eyes wide open, she engages in the daunting process of learning who she is now and who she chooses to become. It is important to her to know that her thoughts and feelings count, that her work and interests are meaningful, and that she herself matters. Her growing self-confidence propels her to reach for and attain her own authentic personal power. So whatever garment, royal garment you have chosen for this ritual workshop, be it a hat, a crown, a scarf, a shawl, put that on your head now. Hold your affirmations, your written affirmations, standing, and walk around quietly reciting these affirmations to yourself. If you're alone, you can do this out loud. I want you to recognize yourself as queen of your domain. Pause this as you need to take the time you need for this. Thank you, and I wish you well in your queendom, in creating your own queendom and taking your own authority.